Andariki namaskaramulo. Today is another good day that we are going to have a webinar from our old speaker. He has taken a few classes for us, Sitaram Ayyagari garu. I'll introduce him briefly after Vande Mataram and Prarthana. I request Krishna Kumar garu to recite Vande Mataram, please.
सर्वेभ्यो नमस्कारः। वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम सुजलां सुफलां मलयज शीतलां सस्यश्यामलां मातरं वंदे मातरम। शुभ्रज्योत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनी पुल्लकुसुमितां द्रुमदलशोभिनीं सुहासिनीं सुमधुरभाषिणीं सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरं।
Vande Mataram. ధన్యవాదములండి కృష్ణ కుమార్ గారు. Thank you so much. Now let us request Govindraj garu to chant Prarthana, please.
Sarvebhyo Namaskaraha. Let us start with a brief meditation followed by chanting Om 3 times. Sit with your back straight. Gently close your eyes and focus on your breath. Now gently open your eyes and let us chant Om 3 times. Om. Om. Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigun Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashrunvannutibhisi Dasadanam Om Shri Mahaganadhipataye Namaha Om Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhirvajinivati Dhinam Avitriyavatu Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha Gurureva Gati Gurumeva Bhaje Gurunaiva Sahasmi Namo Gurave Na Guroh Paramam Shishurasmi Guroh Matirasti Gurau Mam Pahi Guro Jnananandamayan Devam Nirmalaspatikakritim आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ शान्तिः 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 मातृदेवो भव पितृदेवो भव आचार्यदेवो भव अतिथिदेवो भव ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम्
ధన్యవాదములండి. Thank you so much. Now I'll introduce the speaker to all of you briefly. He is very well known to us, Sri Sitaram Ayyagari, he is working for a startup as a senior solution architect. He boasts deep insights into global business processes spanning diverse industries and ERP solutions. With a strong background in data architecture, Sitaram has led the design and implementation of cutting-edge data management solutions that drive AI-based analytics at various organizations. His commitment is to bring a positive impact in society by crafting comprehensive AI-driven solutions for organizations and individuals from all walks of life, ensuring inclusivity, accessibility across diverse sectors. Sitaram is a Krishna Yajurvedi with training in Sanskritam, Krishna Yajurvedam, Karnataka music, and Jyotisha Shastram. He is a prolific writer and a speaker on various aspects of Veda mantras, Puranas, and Itihasas. He founded Sri Sharada School of Music, Austin. He is based from US, and he has been training students in Carnatic classical music for a little over 15 years. He is the author of a book we all know, and which is also released at various places in India. That is The Science of Aruna Prashna, which explains the science behind the Aruna Prashna mantras, which are part of Krishna Yajurveda Aranyakam. He is an executive member of a non-profit organization called IHAR USA. So with this very brief introduction about the speaker, I request Sitaram Garu to start his webinar, please.
Thank you, sir. Subhodayam, namaste everyone. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to all of you. So, is my screen visible? My presentation visible to all of you?
Yeah, it is visible now.
Okay. Perfect. So, yeah, today's topic is modern physics, quantum physics, and Advaita Vedanta. It's a bit complicated. We have to, dwell through several topics but in the interest of time, I put some few slides. I may not go in detail of every slide on the write-up. You can view and you can study while I'm talking about the particular slide. I will explain few concepts of modern physics and quantum physics, and then I will go over the Advaita mantras, Advaita Vedanta. So if you have any questions, please stop me and let's clarify that question and then we'll move forward. So for today's agenda is brief on modern physics and quantum physics, Advaita Vedanta. Then I'll go to the Vedavangmayam and other sources and I'll conclusion. Pretty simple and at the agenda, but all three areas are three oceans. So let's cover very briefly. And today's topic is to align these three things. So I put together slides to bring all these three together and see what is in common and what is not in common, and what are the limits of each one of them. So when we come to modern physics, let me know whether you can see it's in it's in the bigger screen now, right? So basically it is the study of physical phenomena using advanced mathematical and experimental methods. So whatever we say in modern physics is completely proven, it is repeatable, and it is measurable. So modern physics relies on mathematical frameworks, empirical observations, and experimental verification. It emphasizes the importance of mathematical modeling and predictive power. So, for example, the key theories revolve around classical mechanics, like like a Newtonian classical physics. For example, force equal to mass into acceleration, and universal gravity, universal constant for the gravitation. And then after 200 years or so, 200 plus years, Einstein came and he brought up a special relativity, and later it came up with general relativity, which basically talks about the space-time continuum and gravity at high speeds and things like that. Then we, with Niels Bohr, the quantum mechanics started, quantum physics started. He's the father of quantum to me. So so quantum physics is basically it deals with the behavior of particles on atomic and subatomic levels. Then it comes with the statistical mechanics and the thermodynamics. See, if you look at the diagram, it is in one place, all this physics is available, including the magnetism, electronics, and the E is equal to mc square, meters, which measures the current, amplitude, resistance, and things like that. And also you have got the atom and the nucleus. Electronics are revolving around the nucleus and things like that, and also electricity and things like that. So what modern physics brought onto the table is, it's nuclear energy, the reactors based on the principle of nuclear physics, and semiconductor device like our cell phones, microphones, TVs, and things like computers, things like that. Then in the material sciences also helping very efficient buildings, roads, air travel, etc. With the material science, which is possible. Otherwise, material science advancement only brought the aeronautics into picture. So that's on the modern physics. Then comes in the quantum physics. I would like to spend good amount of time on quantum physics. Some principles of quantum physics, not everything. So the entire quantum physics started with the Young's double slit experiment. So there is an electron gun here. If you see in the right hand side, top right hand side, when the electron is shot with a gun with a single slit, and there is a fluorescent with screen has been put, and they observed one single line. But when they put a double line, when they put two slits and shotting when they shot electrons into these two slits, they observed a pattern, interference pattern. Then they concluded that the particle, the electron, whatever they shot, is actually moving in waves instead of as a particle. So when in the single slit, it travels as a particle. In double slit, it is traveling as a wave. So basically, waves is if you throw a stone in a calm pond, uh, then you will see the waves, right? It will have a peaks and troughs, right? It is the same situation here, and whenever two waves collide each other, then there will be a bigger amplitude and a lower amplitude that causes the waves, and that causes the interference, as we can see the lower right hand side corner of the first diagram. So this is the basis more particles. And also another thing it brought into picture is its energy levels. So there will be a fraction of energy in modern physics, whereas here in the quantum physics, the energy is quantized, where one quanta cannot, a fraction of quanta cannot exist. It exists in terms of quantas. There is no 0.5 quanta. It's just one quanta or 5 quanta or 100 quanta. So it cannot be any more fractionized um, uh, beyond a quanta measure. That's called Planck's constant. Then there is an uncertainty principle. When electronics moving or any particle is moving, when the one it is very precisely the location and moment position, the location and momentum measuring these two simultaneously is impossible, and that's what the Heisenberg uncertainty principle talks about. So mostly the quantum physics revolve around these three principles at a high level. Then when the particle is moving in space, it moves as a wave and also observed as a particle. So this lower right hand side corner diagram number 2 gives a big picture, because when it is moving in space-time quantum, wave particle travels like a wave, and when it is observed like as a particle. And if you see the energy when it is like a wave, it is equal to Planck's constant in the frequency, the vibration. And when it is a particle, the energy becomes mass into square times velocity of light or speed of light. So with this, the actual energy is mc square plus hf. But the mass, when it is a wave-like motion, when it is like in photon, you cannot really calculate the mass. However, when it becomes a particle, you can measure the mass of the particle. In wave, the mass depends upon the frequency of the oscillation. So that's why I put together this diagram to just to give you a perspective of the micro world or a quantum world. So the mass can be calculated by hf divided by square times square of speed of light. That's one. And the second phenomenon is the quantum entanglement. Most weirdest subject. People are still struggling to figure out why it happens the way it happens. For example, two particles which are somehow entangled and they were separated. Every these quantum particles has got a property called spin. That spin is unpredictable. So it spins almost the speed of light, but when it is observed, it, it will settle with the if it settle with one position. So if you put a magnet, it will not. If you put south pole of the north pole of the magnet, south pole of the particle will be aligned, and it will stick to that state. However, when these two particles are separated, if one particle is observed as north, like the way we see in the left-hand side of the first diagram, the other particle, even so it is light years apart, instantaneously will get to the other polarity. Like if it is this one is north, then it will become south. If this will become south, this will become north instantaneously. what we do not know, I mean, we have got theories, locality, we have got so many theories around it, but why it happens, still we do not know. But it happens, and it is experimentally verified as well. So if see with these two on the right hand side, we have another diagram, like you have got two particles, particle 1 and particle 2. It is shaded with red and blue because it is spinning. We do not know the exact state, because it is not observed yet. Once in the first case, once it is observed, that means if it is one is red, in other words, it is a north pole, north, pointing north, then the other particle will definitely point to the south. Whereas if this one is the state 2, I mean, if it is south, if the first one is in south, then second one should be in the north position. That's the nature. Why it is still debating. Still, they have got a lot of theories, and it's still evolving. Next, weirdest context. Another weirdest thing about quantum physics is quantum tunneling. To give a physical perspective, lower left-hand side corner, the people actually moving up, moving down on a hill. This is the classical dynamics. But when it comes to the quantum world, this is something, it actually moves, as you can see, the lower portion, it actually moves through the barrier. Okay, there's a lot of mathematics behind it, but to simply explain, on the first diagram in the middle, you have got a box and you have got a barrier. And this box is, imagine this box as a well or a box with some potential. So if this is V0 and if it is V1, that means it has got V1 potential. Say if a free electron or free particle is inside the box, that means it doesn't have enough energy to go over this this well. So when it is excited enough, then it gets more potential energy and it crosses the barrier and goes all the way over the barrier and goes to the right hand side and moves forward. However, while it is inside the box, the energy of that particle, which is not observed yet, is also will be available. Some non-zero energy is available outside the barrier, as you can see a dot on the right hand side. So that means when when it is expected to be in one place, it is also, there is a chance for that to exist outside the box. So I am inside this room. I'm definitely not in my hall. I am in my study room. That's fixed. But whereas if I am the particle, I have got some energy, and I'm not able to go. Don't have enough energy to go over this room, but still some of my energy is available in the next room. Simplistically, that's how I can explain. So the same concept is also, these three talks about the same concept in different the diagrams. So basically what it is it only happens in quantum world. It doesn't happen in modern physics world. I mean, if it is in one place, it is one place, fixed. So this is finest. So that's why it is finite potential energy well, has a non-zero energy outside the boundaries of the ball. I put the color coding in different ways so that you can observe the keywords to make more sense. Then we'll go to, I want you all of you to some pay attention to this diagram. We in this diagram, we know if this left hand side is 1 or north, the right hand side particle is south. So we know future of this one by controlling present state of left hand side one. So left hand side one controls the right hand side, or right hand side controls the left hand side. Basically, one particle affects the other particle. So the future of one particle depends on the what is the current state of the other particle. So that's given. However, basically you are predicting future based on the past, but we also have a problem. We also have the weirdest nature of these quantum particles is delayed choice quantum erasure. It's started in 1999, but it is proven over and over and over ever since 1999. So we will put good amount of time on the first diagram, and then we'll go over the other ones. Imagine there is a gun. It's a photon gun, and there is a double split like the way we saw in the first diagram. And there are two particles. I mean, the particle goes into two slits, and there is a Weber crystal. So where it actually creates the entangled particles out of one particle. This one particle becomes two particles, two entangled particles. And say so do the green as well as the red ones. There are two pairs of entangled particles. So there are total two particles from the very beginning became the four particles, right? Now, and here is the lens, and also it is a quantum eraser. And here there is a splitter, and there is another detector, another couple of detectors here, and the bottom there is another detector. So we have got four detectors and two splitters, one for each beam of light or entangled light, a portion of the entangled light. And we also have quantum erasure. That's it. I think these are all the parts we have. Now, the simple first observation is the first entangled particle, the green particle, is and the detector one is much closer to the source. The BBO crystal, if you scale it, it is say 1 unit. The other particle, the entangled particle, goes to the splitter. Either it reflects to detector 4 or it reflects to detector 2. It is traveling for a long distance compared to the first particle, which she'll actually detected at detector 1. So this is a basic diagram. Now, if we go to the second diagram on the right, observe that this entangled particle goes to the lens and detected, and the second entangled particle goes through the splitter and get detected in detector 2. So do the red one. So what basically this diagram shows is it remembers the source. Source is not erased, right? When the source is not erased, the single particle is detected, and we observed a particle pattern of the particle. There is a particle pattern and there is a wave pattern, right? So in this case, it is in the particle pattern. When you go to the next diagram, third diagram, the entangled particles hit the splitter and got detected by detector 4. But here also observe that there is a quantum erasure. That means these two waves are collide and combined. And basically what it is it is actually the source is erased. We do not know which particle comes from where. And at that case, it has got a wave pattern. Observe this wave pattern, and also here also wave pattern. So far, we are talking about these two pairs, right? These two pairs we know for sure. In the case, the second diagram, it is identified, the source is remembered and detected independently. In the third diagram, source is not detected. and these two waves are combined here. That's called arrangement. So far, so good. So, but observe this is the scariest and the weirdest part about this concept, and that shows on the diagram 4. Observe that when we observe independently, detector 2 and detector 3 has got a particle pattern that can be understood. But this is what it is. The first detector also matching delayed detectors like a D2, D3 or a D4. In the second diagram, D2 detector matching the detector 1, and the third diagram, D4 wave pattern matches the detector 1. How that is possible? You see how that is possible? Because the detector 1 is detected for imagine that it traveled for 5 seconds and detected, whereas the second one, the particles that are detected in detector 2 and detector 4 takes 20 seconds. So 5 seconds, first 5 seconds one thing is observed, and 20 seconds second part, the entangled particle is observed. But whatever is been observed of 20 seconds influencing the one already detected. So this is a future. 20 seconds is definitely future for 5 seconds detected one particle. So when I observe something in future, the past is changing. You see, that's why I wanted to put, it's very counterintuitive. We never believe this one, but this has been observed. This has been experimentally verified. We do not know why. So when the path information is known, that means we know in the second diagram, the path is known. So the green particle 1 goes to detector 1, independently observed, and in the second entangled green light detected at detector 2, the source is known. It is from the one particle coming from the slit number 1. Whereas in the second one, slit 1, slit 2, particle emerging from slit 1 and slit 2, which are entangled, which were diverted and detected in detector 4, where the source is erased, has got a wave pattern, and this wave pattern is matching with the detected one. The particles which are detected at the detector 1. 15 seconds later, even though it is the detector 15 seconds later, it is still influencing the past. So that's one weirder stuff. So we saw 3 weirder stuff, and one more thing I would like to show, and then we will call it a day. Okay. So we saw so far, the double slit experiment, the duality, and we also quantized the energy and the uncertainty principle. Then we went to quantum entanglement. Then we went to the another weirdest nature of the quantum particles is energy could exist outside the potential wells, non-zero value. And we also saw somehow future is affecting the past. Then so far so good. These are all good. How it is helping the humanity? That's the question number one. That's the question, right? So modern physics, only few hundred years old. People believe that in Newton, everything is started with Newton. Let's go with that. And modern physics, only few hundred years ago, significant advances. Then we were able to build efficient buildings, taller buildings. Then we came breakthroughs in harvesting. We are able to yield more now, and air travel is made possible. Near perfect communication across the continents, electronic devices, live shows across the globe, etc. These are all because of the science. There were then improved living standards across the globe when used responsibly. Next one is providing insight into astronomy, cosmology, evolution of universe, and keep up with the Hubble and Webb. There are so many telescopes, and we are still exploring, but we are learning about the universe day by day. This is all modern physics. But when come to the quantum physics, which is unseen world or cannot be easily perceived, provides insights into subtler and more counterintuitive behavior of the particles, as we just saw with the quantum entanglement principle. It gave insights into the predictive future state of the particle system. More scarily, past can be changed with future, as we just saw. Now, where are we heading? Where are we heading? Scientists are actually working on something called theory of everything. Until most recently, there are two theories. There are four fundamental forces in nature. One is gravity, weak force, strong force, and magnetism. So all these, electromagnetic force, not magnetic, electromagnetic force. So QFT, quantum field theory, explains weak, strong, and electromagnetic forces very well, but it could not explain gravity. Gravity is it a force? Oh, that's a question. That's still a question, but it has got every property possible for a force. So it is a force. So it could not explain. Then that's general relativity actually explained that principle. That's known. But these scientists want to combine these two. Scientists believe these two can come together. All four natural nature of forces can be explained with a single equation, single mathematical model. So they came up with a model called theory of everything. And this is the formula. And we put together the gravity, electromagnetic magnetism, strong force, and weak force. If you see, all forces are here. But this is a theoretical model. It is not proven. Scientists has got different opinions on this one, but this is where they're heading. So this is also called theory of everything, is also called final theory, ultimate theory, master theory. It's all theories. So this is where humanity is heading in terms of scientific exploration and in terms of knowing the secrets of uh, universe, more the tangible universe and intangible universe. So, any questions so far? Because from this one, we will go to the Advaita philosophy, and then later we'll compare, the pros and the boundaries of both of them. So, so what we have achieved with this quantum is, we have got quantum computing, then quantum cryptography, and we have got quantum sensors, quantum metrology. These are all different applications of quantum. It is not hypothetical or this thing. It is practical. We put those principles into practice, and we devised a lot of gadget. We devised a lot of instruments and applications. They are working. They are proven, but we are still exploring where. So still, quantum computing is not complete. Scientists are exploring. That's where we are so far. So I can take, if you have any questions, we will clarify that. Then we will move on to the Vedanta part. All right, I take that as a yes. Then I will move forward.
Just a small
go ahead,
question. Sorry, a small question. I mean, in the third experiment, I guess when the lenses are reflected, what we are saying is that the source is destroyed. I mean,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So
information about the source is destroyed, not source is
correct.
destroyed. Yeah.
Information about source is destroyed, in which case the prediction is not possible, right?
Prediction is not possible in the sense it cannot. I mean, no. Prediction is a prediction of what?
No, like how the behavior of the future, like what in the first experiment, you can predict the future based on the current wave, right? What is the second model that we talked about, where the sources, the second picture that we basically the particle patterns are pretty much same, right?
Correct. Oh, okay. That's what I'd like to make sure, we are on the same terms. Oh, yes.
Yeah. So in the other experiment, when it goes through the lenses, the patterns are very different, right?
Correct.
So in which case, if the patterns are different, in which case, what am I thinking? I'm just guessing. So I have absolutely no clue about this. The prediction would be almost impossible based on the source pattern or whatever. Is that correct understanding?
Yes. Yes. We cannot it's a different way of thinking is, yes. One way it is yes, but there is a polarity, there is a phase also, but that's more complicated.
Okay.
But in simplistic words, you are right. Okay. Your observation is right. So because if it is not a particle,
yeah,
there is no spin, there is no down, right? The
right.
other one is down, the other one should be up. As this is only for the particle when it is observed as a particle. But when it is a wave motion, there is no spin at all. I mean, there is no observed spin at all. That terms it is perfect. Yeah, your understanding is correct. Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah. And this is the actual experiment. This is the actual experiment they have done. Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
Sorry, just wanted to understand what's the role of observer? Who really is the observer, and is observed same and constant in all this? When you said 5 second, 20 second, we're assuming the observer is human.
There are four. No, these are all detectors, not human. It is a microparticle, right? We cannot really observe it. It is actual detectors. It is actual device which detects the electron or microparticle.
Sure. So just to understand, so when you said the 5/22 example, the detector 1 has detected a particle at 5th second, and at the 20th second.
Exactly. No. This is yeah. So basically, imagine this is drawn to the scale. Okay. Yeah. So if it is drawn to the scale, if this one takes 5 seconds, see, look at this. This has to travel a long distance, right? So whatever 5 seconds is here, maybe 10 seconds. I mean, I just put 20 seconds as an example to make you guys make people understand it. See, look at this eyeballs, like, light. It is detected here. When it is detected in the top right, the first diagram, when it is detected, it reached the lens here, right? But by the time it reaches the lens at detector 1, it is halfway or not even halfway on the other one.
Yeah.
You see? So it travels longer time, but still influences the past. Somehow it knows. That's what scientists could not answer this question.
Yeah.
Somehow their future influences the past. It doesn't know, at this point, it doesn't know whether it is go through the splitter or it get diverted from the splitter. But when it is detected respectively, whatever way it is, the detector 1's pattern is changing. That's the scariest part.
Yeah.
Okay. Because why I'm saying these weird things? Because Advaita also is very weird. You cannot prove like the way you prove in modern physics. That's why I put together some weird nature of the quantum physics, and then we'll move. Because Advaita, we know, using the Vedic verses, reading the Upanishads, and definitely people have different understandings on the Vedic mantras, and they have got different imaginations. We will see that in a minute. So,
You mean time is no influence on this?
Sorry?
You mean time is no influence on these two paths?
Time has no influence on the, what is the last part?
These two different paths. One path, 5 seconds, same thing is happening.
Oh, yes. That's what exactly. Yes. So that's what it is called.
In simple terms, you are saying that time has no influence on different paths of the particle that is moving.
Correct. Correct.
But still it behaves same way. Is it?
Yes. Same way means,
Same way for
see,
form.
there is something unknown to us, which is known to the universe, where once it is entangled and when it is observed at the different times, somehow they are still aligned. So yeah, time is definitely irrelevant here, because you are observing the second particle in a different time, but still the principle applies for them.
For example, we take I'll take a different example just for the discussion sake. I'm
Sure.
saying it may not
Sure.
be exactly true to the physical science conditions. We take two electrons,
Mhm.
and one electron passes through certain conditions of atmosphere and goes to some place, and another electron goes to some other place in at a different time scale. They not behave same. They will behave same, right?
And
The electron conflicts.
yeah, yeah, if it is, and that's what this okay, the whole thing is started exactly where the way you said. The whole experiment is started as a thought process initially based on the quasi particles from the distant distant universe beyond our galaxy. They said if the two particles comes around this Milky Way galaxy and reach Earth, when we detect, do we know the source? And why one detector is detecting as a particle while the other detector is actually detecting as a wave? They could not understand this, because if it is a particle, it has to be particle in both cases. But some cases it is particle, some cases it's wave when it is detected. A cosmic radiation I'm talking about, not experiment, not laboratory this thing. Then they thought why it is being, sorry, go ahead, sir.
Maybe the conditions of the path are different. That's why it is changing like that.
Exactly. Then they would like to replicate a scenario where they will send the same particle. They split that into two. Then they would like to observe, because it is the first one, we do not know what is controlling. Then second one, we know what is controlling. We are controlling the splitter is controlling the distance. We controlling the distance, right? And the detector, right? But beyond all these controls that we have, it is still has a relation between the detector 1 and detector 2 or 3 or detector 4. Wherever you detect, it is still still has a relation with the detector 1. That's the weirdest part. Why would a detector 1 change his pattern just because we observed the other one as a detector 2 or a detector 4? Because detector 2 and detector 4 observing it differently. In detector 4, we are erasing the source information. Whereas in detector 2, we are keeping the source information. But why would detector 1 change its pattern? That's the question. That's the weirdness. Yeah.
For the change in the conditions of the detector 4, the condition 1 is detector 1 is responding. That's what you want to say.
Correct. Exactly. We are changing the. Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Let me rephrase my statement. That's good thing you say you gave me. See, the conditions of the second particle is different from the detector 2 to detector 4. Either detector 2 or detector 4. The conditions of the second particle is different compared to the first one. First one is fixed, but second one we do not know. So yeah. So the regardless of the regardless of the conditions under which the second particle is observed, first particle responds to it, and also more scaringly, it knows it 5 seconds before. So that's the weirdest nature of quantum mechanics. Sorry, go ahead.
So, it knows 15 seconds before.
Yeah, and that's what it, right? Because it already knows whether this particle 2 will be observed at detector 2 or detector 4, because this pattern is already been observed. It is not changing. It is detected that way.
So
In
one
the
is
first,
detected 5 seconds. And the second one where the conditions have been changed, detected after 20 seconds. So what 5 seconds detected and change had the wave structure, the same thing is having after 20 seconds.
Already correct, exactly.
So that's
It
what
is
already
not changing after the observation. No. It is detector 1 is not changing after the observation. It has the observation already, but that observation will tell. I mean, we will give you a clue how it is been going. The other particle is going to be observed.
this is retaining that after say for example, we'll take a condition in between condition. I've taken this in between condition, I've taken in between condition of dots here. That the dots you have shown the condition.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Let us take that as a 5 seconds condition.
Correct.
At that point, it is realized the recorded the 5 seconds change wave structure what it has got.
You can imagine that, yes.
Yeah, that it is retaining after 20 seconds also. Can you not take like that?
I mean, okay, for example, we do not know how these two particles doesn't know how those going to be created in detector 1. Right?
That inherent quality may be.
We do not know. There is no easy way to know. That's what I'm saying.
When there is inherent quality only, that doesn't change. Is it not?
Exactly. But how does exactly? So then, but these two are separated, traveling, but we do not know what is that inherent. That's what so the questions they asked the whether is, how does universe know? How does universe know that the other set of particles is going to be observed 5 seconds before?
No. Yes. Now let us go back to my example of two atoms. Two atoms or two electrons, two atoms.
Oh, whatever, yeah.
So when we send two atoms, two similar atoms, and the two similar atoms knows each other, what are the qualities of each inherent qualities, right? So
Yeah,
that's why.
Regardless, sir, regardless. So exactly. So if, for example, at this point, these two particles doesn't know how they are going to be observed, whether it goes to the splitter and detected by detector 2 or get reflected by the detector 4. Because see, here I wrote, see, 50-50 chances of diverted are going through. We do not know the chance what this splitter going to do, whether this particle goes through the splitter and get detected by detector 2, as in the case of second diagram, or it gets reflected or diverted through the as we saw in the third diagram and get detected by detector 4. We do not know. These two particles do not know, because that's an external factor which is influencing whether it is gets through the whether it get detected by detector 2 or detector 4. But regardless of what the splitter magic does, detector 1 already knows the future state of these two. It's very weird.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah. So that's why I put together, because when we go to Vedanta, it is definitely like that. We will see that in a minute. Yeah. It is very counterintuitive. No one believe this one. Even I cannot believe. Even scientists don't believe, but the results are proven over and over last 20 years. Or 20 plus years. First time 1999 they put together. These are all the scientists, and this is their experiment. They made it more complicated. It is more simpler. They made it even more complicated just to observe multiple reflections. Like They don't observe here. They put this one, they see there are so many mirrors here. Even whatever you do, detector 1 will be in line with the way it is detected. The counter, the entangled particle will be detected after some time, somewhere, somehow. Okay. So yeah, any other questions? So I will go to the Vedanta. Then if you have any questions, then I'll always come back.
Probably our viewers also should go into the details of quantum physics before coming to the class. Yeah, that is
Yeah,
more better valuable discussion can happen.
yeah, because quantum mechanics is very, very counterintuitive, sir. Yeah, and that's why the topic is good. Modern physics is Sat. F is equal to ma is a Sat. Yeah, if there is a mass and there is an acceleration, the force calculated, regardless of the distance, regardless of the time, F is equal to ma stands good. But when it comes to the quantum world, it's very weird. And I'll tell you the why it is. The similar weirdness when we come to the Vedanta. So Vedantam, we will start here and then we'll go back and forth. It's our this thing. So what is the time now? I don't know what's the time. It's okay. We still have time. So Vedanta, in simplistically for this discussion's sake, talks about. Even I believe in this. Talks about what an individual, the mumukshu, should be realized after acquiring complete knowledge. The with Vedantam is not the end of Veda. It is the after the acquiring the with means knowledge. So it is giving a direction for the mumukshu once he acquired knowledge of all the four Vedas, whatever four Vedas, then he has to use this knowledge to go to the next stage of self-realization. Next stage, that is self-realization. So Vedantam for me is it's a direction for the realization. Then it is called Jnana Kanda, the Upanishads. It is more precisely for the experiencing the eternal bliss. There is no discussion here. When the mumukshu will undergoes eternal bliss, there is no discussion. All the discussion will freeze to exist. That's the state Vedanta always talks about. Whether it is talking about the Om Pranavanadam or it's just a cosmic Shabdas or whatever it talks about a state where there are no more discussions, there are no more contemplations, it's just experience, because there is no two things for any discussion. For any discussion, you need two things. For even time to exist, you should have an event taken place. If there is no events taken place, that means there is no time. In state of this eternal bliss, when the observer, that is the mumukshu, whoever is actually experiencing the bliss, doesn't have time. Because for him, there are no two events happening like the way we experience the time. He is not experiencing time. There is no time. So when the time dies or time vanishes, however you call it, that's the eternal bliss. We will see in a minute. But the tough questions we have to ask is, everyone talks about this eternal bliss and super consciousness and all these big words. But what basically it is? Next, the means of, if it is an experience, then what are the means for this experience? Then we have to talk about the, how do you know the experience is eternal? So for example, if I eat a chocolate, I have an experience, a taste experience, and I feel good. When I get through an exam, I feel good. That's also happening. These are all different parts of happiness. And of course, we have got Mauda, Pramoda, and things like that. We have very detailed explanation about all these different types of anandas. But how do I know that my experience is eternal bliss? We'll see in a minute. And for that, we use the Vangmayam. Vangmayam in simplistic terms, I mean, every one of you know, but for the viewers' sake, Vakmayam. Vangmayam. That treasure that is preserved with oral tradition is called Vangmayam. So, 4 Vedas, 1000 plus Upanishads, 18 Mahapuranas and 18 Upapuranas. These first two portions, first two Vedas and Upanishads are Vangmayam. And 18 plus 18 Puranas, even though it is scripted by Veda Vyasa in Dwapara Yuga, the knowledge exists prior to him. That's also considered as Vangmayam. At least I will consider that also as Vangmayam, even though it is later scripted. Of course, these are also scripted later. So in the very beginning, all these are scripted. Whereas when it comes to the Itihasas, Ramayana and Mahabharata, they started with scripting. So those are all not Vagmayams, it is all Itihasas, it is a scripted or scriptures you can call. But here you cannot call it scriptures, this is called Vangmayam, technically. Then Vedanta. So there is plethora of knowledge. I mean, it is so much information around Vedanta. But for our discussion, we will see what Vedanta actually, the Vedanta, I said, unison with the super consciousness or eternal, experiencing the eternal bliss, right? So one is yoga. Yoga means union, right? Unite or join, right? It encompasses holistic system practice aimed at integrating mind and body and the spirit, and includes physical postures, breath control, meditation, ethical principles, yama niyama, and all that. Then philosophical insight and ways of practicing the yoga is hatha yoga, vinyasa yoga, ashtanga yoga, kundali, whatever, bhakti yoga. These are all initially there's an individual loses his existence like namarupa prapancha, that's called ego. Once he will give up on all his ego, everything related to him one by one, he will lose his ego. That means his identity. It is his identity for himself is irrelevant. Then he will slowly get into unite with the super consciousness. Now, another tradition is dhyana yoga. Then it is a practice of focusing on mind and achieving a state of deep concentration and inner tranquility. Specifically emphasizes mental concentration in inner stillness. It involves training the mind, observing the thoughts, emotions, sensations, and attachments and judgment. Then Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga means definitely knowledge and wisdom. It is again contemplation. This is what our rishis did. Insights, understanding, realization of ultimate truth or reality. It is not merely intellectual knowledge, but experimental like wisdom, transcends ordinary perception, understanding the nature of self, nature of reality, and the relation between these two. Self-relation and enlightenment, I mean, different names. On top of all this, we have got the Samavedam. From the Samavedam, the Saptaswaras has come in. And the Saptaswaras been, explored and evolved by its own, evolved as its own Shastra, like a Sangeeta Shastra. And in the Rig Veda, we have got Upanishad, which also talks about this Nada as the practice for the spirituality, or aligning with the Almighty. So this is called Pranavanadopasana and Sangeetanadopasana. And I'm not talking about yoga and dhyana today. We will give more importance on the jnana and the nada for just keeping the time in mind. So now we are taking the help of Vedanta and its practices to get the eternal bliss. But I have not defined eternal bliss, right? So we need to know what is eternal bliss, how it is different from all other happinesses or joys that we get. And I take the Taittiriya Upanishad and I will show you what is being defined quantitatively and qualitatively about this eternal bliss. So can you hear the Veda mantras?
No.
No.
Sorry?
No, we can't hear.
Oh, okay. I think that's a limitation. I think, okay, that's fine. So me and my guru, actually, he passed away, but a decade and a half ago, maybe in 2009 or 10, I put together a Taittiriya Upanishad in a pictorial form. And this is in the Anandavalli. This is the Brahmananda. He's explaining the joy of one get. So when it is quantitatively and quantitative and qualitative description of the eternal bliss. So as we saw the mathematical models about the quantum nature of the particles, and also everything is definitely formula in modern physics. Here also we have got a formula just to measure the eternal bliss. For that, they need a fundamental unit to measure the eternal bliss. The fundamental unit, the base unit that they took to measure this is top left-hand corner. They said an young man, a good person, well versed with scriptures. That means he has got all the knowledge. Well disciplined. So well disciplined means kama, krodha, lobha, mada, matsaryas. He gave up. As Tyagaraja mentioned in Shiva Shiva and Radha Kirtana. He just got out of all this unnecessary stuff. Then he also has got Anasta Bhalista. He has got all the wealth under the, on the earth. If the person, whoever is experiencing happiness with fulfillment, is one unit. 100 times of that unit is called human Gandharva. 100 times to that is celestial Gandharva. 100 times to that Ananda, it's Pitra. People in Pitraloka experience that bliss. Then 100 times to that Pitraloka experience or have this thing experience is Ajanaja gods. They were born in the cosmos and they live there. Then 100 times to this is Karma Devatas, 100 times to that is actual Devatas which are influencing the earth and heaven. And 100 times to that is Indra, who is the king, ruler of the gods and the universe. And for that, 100 times to that is Brihaspati, 100 times to that is Prajapati, 100 times to the Hiranyagarbha, 100 times to the Hiranyagarbha is one person experiencing the eternal bliss in the meditation, in the yoga. So if I talk about number of units, if I calculate all this, it comes to 10 to the power of 22 plus. It is not only just this one. It also is, if you look at this diagram, you have got black lines and blue lines. The black lines is a simple multiplication of one onto the other, and it arrives at here, that is 10 power 22. You also have blue lines, which are actually coming directly from each stage. So they will get human Gandharva bliss as well as 10 to the power of 22. Plus, you will also get the celestial Gandharva. You also get the joys of Pitraloka. So all combined, it comes to around 10 power 23. So that's the joy. Why it is so exaggerated? Why can't we just, this, most of us, fraction of this one, for unit number 1 is also enough. Because you look at this and entire wealth on the earth, you own it, right? So, but they have this is unconditional. This is conditional. See, the first one, it is conditional. If the person is not a strong man, he has got a fraction of the happiness. If he doesn't have enough money, he has got fraction of that happiness. But when it comes, and all other happinesses also has conditions. It also depends on the distance from the sun, from the earth also. I mean, in a different perspective that I'm not going there yet. But this guy sitting on earth, meditating, killing the time, forgetting about his ego, giving up his ego. He doesn't know. He has got the awareness of his bodily consciousness is gone. So he left with a consciousness which is universal, pervading all the time, existing all the time, exist all the time, everywhere. So that kind of position or that kind of state that guy is in. So the bliss is actually infinite, but in terms of finite terms, it is 10 to the power of 23 units of this person. I think so far so good. So the next one we have to answer is, how do I know I achieved this? Again, we look into the Bhruguvalli, where Bhrugu actually contemplates, and initially he thought Annam is everything. Then he moves on Panchakoshas, then he achieves Ananda Kosham, then he is beyond that Ananda Kosham or inside, deep inside the Ananda Kosha. He says there is an Ananda. Then he expresses himself his joy. Even though the joy expressed, when, as I said, when you start expressing, it is limited, right? Because there are two things, you and your experience. You are not the experience. When you express something, that is you are expressing your experience. That means there are already two things existed. You are already beyond Advaita. You are not in Advaita state. So in your Advaita state already. So any explanation is limited. But for the mumukshu, the future mumukshu or the practicing people's sake, they put together some text. We'll see the text. Oh, sorry. We will see the text. This is the text. I am the center of immortality prior to the gods. Even though he exists today, in his super consciousness, he thinks he existed before any existence. The way we saw in the model, right? Quantum model. And also, I am the food that eats him. I am the food that eats him. Who eats the food? I have conquered all in this world and am luminous like the sun. He who knows that will be one with Brahman like me. This is the essence of. And also, there is so much explanation. I just put only a few things here just to give you an overview. So this is the. So someone, once he comes out of this yoga or the dhyana or the samadhi, he should experience that, okay, I existed prior to all this existence, and everything is controlled by me. I'm the actually one who is control. I mean, that mantra actually says that I am the one who is actually controlling, and whoever is offering through their prayers, I am the one who is receiving all the offerings. So he is claiming himself. He is everything, everywhere, ever existing. And this is the mumukshu with the jnana marga. Now on the Sangeeta marga or Nada marga also has got very detailed explanation in a Nada Bindopanishad. It's from the Rigvedam. So in this one, it says the yogis, they'll sit in the Vaishnavi mudra posture and start listening to the internal nada through their right ear. Okay. So why right ear? Don't know. But because of this pramana, Gayatri mantra, when it is initiated through the right ear. And also we will cover with the cloth, which is a bad conductor. It is an insulator basically, so it doesn't go outside the outside. So it's only goes through the right ear, not even left ear, only through the right ear, only to the concerned person who is actually being initiated. And then Pranavanadam goes there. And even though he's sitting in a tranquil state or a very calm place, place is also important. The noisy places doesn't help because you will hear external sounds. And the yogi, say for example, he sits in the Himalayas or in a very quiet place and he meditates upon the nada, he can still hear sounds. So there are three stages in the Nadopanishad. As per the Nadopanishad, there are three stages of Nadopasana. In the first stage, when he starts meditating upon the Shabda, he can listen all this huge noise, huge sounds, huge Shabdas like oceanic waves, thunders, huge drums, right, and the rivers, flow of rivers sound, and waterfall sounds. Then in the second stage, he will start listening to the more subtler sounds originating from the mridangam and sacred bells like bells in the temple. And then the third stage, much quieter euphonic sounds like a flute, violin, and a veena and things like that, where they are very smooth and calming down. And slowly from there, with the practice, all shabdas dissolve internally, cannot hear external sounds, and shabda goes beyond manas. Because all these three are observed when the manas is active. If manas is not active, what is active? It's only consciousness is active. It's just only unconditional consciousness. That when the manas actually is stopped, then it is called manonmani. Manaha unmani. Unmani is the state. Mana unmani, because manas is experiencing the state, is called manonmani. That is the state. With the unwavering Nadopasana, one goes beyond the vasanas acquired over all previous births and unites with the Brahman and enjoys the eternal bliss. This is the statement given in Nadopasana. It is a lot of, there are so many details. They just put together what is Nadopasana, how to achieve this eternal bliss by the two means. One is the Jnana Marga, the other one is Nada Marga. Now, So I will put the summary with Vedanta the way I put for the modern physics and quantum physics. Vedanta provides insight into the unconditional bliss, describe the eternal bliss quantitatively and qualitatively as per Upanishads, and also describe the state of enlightenment person. And Pranavanada sadhana of yogis, mantra sadhana of Veda Pandits, and disciplined Sangeeta sadhana of musicians align and they unite with eternal bliss as mentioned Upanishads. So these are all the three means just observed, but I'm not talking about the yoga shastra and dhyana and other means. So there are several means to achieve this one. So what is the link between the weird nature of quantum physics, expected behavior by the mathematical models of modern physics, and the Vedanta, where you exist, but you lose existence very consciously, because you cannot be a dead person to a dead person cannot, there is no sense for him. But we are not dead persons. And we don't have manas also. We are going beyond manas. So what is the difference between a dead body versus a body that is still has got the prana, but doesn't have any other sense? That's called eternal and experiencing or unites with the superconsciousness. How this is possible? I mean, is there, how do you exist everywhere at the same time, all the time? Is it a possibility? Well, we will see in the conclusion part. I will explain more details. These are the questions I asked and I put them in the conclusions. We will see very carefully. Modern physics and quantum physics trying to provide insights in the evolution of the universe in its dynamism. They explain subtler and more counterintuitive behavior of the particles. It also provides theoretical understanding on how every particle potentially is related to any other particle, explains non-zero probability of universal non-zero probability universal distribution of the particle in its waveform until it is observed. Quantum entanglement gave insights in predicting the future state of the particle system. More scarily, past can be changed with the future. On the other hand, Vedanta provides knowledge on all pervading nature of Brahman, its realization with a tranquil mind, and different different upasanas to get the bliss, experience the bliss. And the nature of quantum particles somehow or some extent align with the concept of Brahman, such as all pervading determinism through observation, etc. However, the bliss, observing the true nature, the reality in its entirety, cannot be experienced merely by knowledge of material world and mathematical equations. It can only be achieved by tranquil mind and unison with Brahman. So the point number last but one is point for a discussion. The nature of quantum particles. So if an electron is revolving around the nucleus, but it has got a because it's a barrier, right? The atom is a barrier. Electron is revolving inside the atom. Atom is the barrier. And it has got some potential, that's why it is not able to escape. And we saw that finite potential well, it is not able to escape because the potential energy of the well is greater than the energy of the particle inside the well. However, that doesn't stop that particle energy to trade through the walls and exist outside the wall. So you have got potential energy inside the wall, and the same portion of that energy is also available, a non-zero value available outside the walls. So that means these particles, the probability or the energy of this one is existing outside the walls. Unless it is observed completely, we do not know where exactly that particle is located. For example, you take a sheet, a universe, and you have got a free radical there, like a free particle there. That particle, until it is observed, it is in wave in nature. But it can be observed anywhere. There is a distribution, the probability distribution, a non-zero value exists all over the universe. There will be a more probability of its existence in one particular place compared to the other place. But there is a non-zero probability for its existence across the universe. Okay. When it is observed, it is localized. It is perfectly can be identified in one particular location. Until then, it is existing all over. Same thing with coming to the Parabrahman. If I say that one, this is also a probability. Existence of Brahman is a probability, entire universe. But you are the instrument as an observer. You are the observer, and you can observe that particular Brahman with meditation, and you can isolate. I mean, you can identify the person, identify the bliss, and that's your observation. For example, two people very close in the same room or in a different room, meditating upon eternal bliss, both has got non-zero probability of his Brahman existence all over. I mean, that's given. But both can achieve or immersed with the eternal bliss at the same time, even though one observer, say for example, if one observer observes the Brahman, that means Brahman will collapse and he will exist in one place. But what about the second person? If it is observed by one person, it cannot be detected by the other person. So only one mumukshu will be there at any given point of time. But that is not true. Both can observe independently the same Brahman, which is pervading with non-zero probability across the universe, can be identified, can be experienced at the same time. So that is something that Vedanta teaches us, whereas it is not. I mean, we were still. I mean, I don't know. I mean, science says it is only one particle, universal distribution, and one location when it is observed. It cannot be observed at two places at the same time. Whereas this is possible in Vedanta. Otherwise, if somebody is already in advanced position, moving forward, then no one need to try because it's already taken. So that's not the case. So we got to be very careful. So I mean, that's what I have. If you have any questions, then I can take questions.
In Vedanta,
Uh-huh.
is it not observer and observee are both are same?
It will be. At one point, it will be. Initially, there are two different things, right? Initially, I am myself. I meditate. I listen. I feel the. I experience outside world, and slowly I have to dissolve all my external materialistic observations. Then and how to go beyond the manas. That's the state where we will unite with the eternal bliss.
Yes.
Until that, there are two entities.
So another postulate is there are different ways of achieving bliss. Different margas are there.
Yeah.
And the marga is unique. The ultimate, the JM is
The
unique.
goal of the marga is unique. Yes.
The
Yeah.
Gnayam is unique. Gnanam is different.
Hmm.
The way the process is different, but the Gnayam is same. Similarly, the waveform is same in quantum mechanics, whatever way you process it.
Hmm.
So
Correct.
this is, as you say, this is quantum mechanics, quantum physics. I mean, whatever you call it.
Yes.
Unless
Exactly.
quantum theory, you mean?
Yeah. Correct.
That's
Otherwise,
what you want
we
to
cannot
conclude.
really visualize unless because quantum mechanics actually helps understand the Vedanta, what Vedanta is saying, because otherwise it is a belief. It sits as a belief because it cannot be explained. But now we have got some means to explain. So now the important question that we have to ask is, what is Lord Narayana in Vishnu, as Vishnu Sahasranamam is mentioned, and what is Shiva as mentioned in the Shiva Sahasranamas, or what is Devi mentioned in Lalita Sahasranamam? Are there infinitely tiny particle with a probability distribution of their existence in entire universe, as this is what we are praying?
Yeah, in my observation, whether that is Lalita Sahasranamam or Shiva Sahasranamam or any other God Sahasranamam, the whole universe is explained there.
Correct.
The
Exactly.
whole science of universe, whole Srishti is explained there in all the Sahasranamas. And the ultimate bliss is the same for all the theories.
Correct. Absolutely. So when it comes to the
same thing is being observed by our scientists now through quantum physics. The ultimate, the reality is same in whatever way you process a particle.
correct.
That's what we are trying to conclude, right?
Yeah.
Is it?
I mean, the behaviors of
That
Paramatma.
means did we release Paramatma? Did we realize the theory of Paramatma now?
That's the idea, sir. That's the idea.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good lecture. But
Thank you.
any other questions we can think of?
Yeah, please.
Okay, Ratnam garu.
Namaskaram andi.
Namaskaram andi.
Yes, I liked your approach of the subject, but I also have a theory. I don't know whether it is correct or not. Well, I feel all the names that we are giving, Narayana, Rudra, Lalita Sahasranama, or anything, they are all, if we identify them with energy levels, H nu, the frequencies are different. The frequencies, once you think of them as a frequency, a H nu, then it is a quanta. Then we now in the Khatkamala and all these things, we come across different names of the Devi, and in the all those are H nu 1, H nu 2, H nu 3, and there will the superposition of all of them is the Lalita. So that if you using a spectrometer, you can have a spectrum of all the frequencies, and I have come across a person who was talking about an instrument that he has made according to this, but I don't know the validity of that. But still, I feel that if we look at all the names, Kamakshi or whatever it is, all the names, if we look at them as energy levels and energy band theories, so then I think we can identify the Vedantic way of interpretation of the Dhyana Marga or anything, Jnana Marga, or the achievement of the levels, and the modern science, quantum physics, and quantum entanglement also. That is what I feel. I don't know whether I'm correct or not, but still it is a thought. Thank you.
It is a good thought. I mean, it has got a reason to be accepted as a thought experiment. Because if it is a person, if Lord Narayana or Shiva, if we want to personify as a good person, we can say just a good person. Why would you put 1,000 names for it? 1,000 way of describing a good person? It's not necessarily. You can always say it's a nice dude or nice guy or nice bro or whatever contemporary language that you can use and finish it up. But our Munish, if, for example, Vishnu Sahasranamam is done by Bhishma. Bhishma actually acquired around 1400 plus names of Narayana, but he put together only 100,000 for the discussion's sake during his Ampasaya discourse. And at the same time, Lord Shiva Sahasranamas been spoken by Lord Krishna himself. And also his disclaimer is, he do not know completely about the Shiva Tattva to start with, but whatever knowledge he has, he would like to share. And Shiva's knowledge is, Shiva Sahasranama is more deeper than the Vishnu Sahasranama. However, they both talk about 100 ways, 1,000 ways of describing one particular thing. And when they're expressing the thing, they have got the principles of modern physics as well as quantum physics. Coming to the modern physics, which is a definitive. So when you start with Vishnu Sahasranama, Visvam Vishnu Shatkaro once you go this one, until it hits the Narasimha Sriman, these are all adjectives and is describing the all pervading nature of the universe. I mean, Narayana. But when they fixed, the first fixation they did, they fixed at the Narasimha. Then they went to all other avatars, all other incarnations, which can be identified and can be worshipped, or it can be described as a physical human being or physical stuff. That's the qualities. Then they explain the qualities of Narasimha. We have got the text for the Narasimha, Ramo, Ramo, Margo, Neyo, Neyoneha. So when they come to the Narayana, Lord Krishna, even Shiva also comes into picture, and everything will come to picture. That's a definitive. But the non-definitive things, Visvayonihi, that's not a definitive. Visvayoni, I mean, if this how does the yoni exist without universe? But everything will come on. Then he talked about the Mahashanaha. Mahashanaha means he eats everything. Eats everything. I mean, who is the eater there? It's a dynamism of the universe, like a creation, as well as dissolution, as well as evolution. So these are all things they would like to describe through the Sahasranamas, the entire dynamism of the universe. They put together in simple namas to express. So it has got modern physics, which is a definitive, and the quantum physics, which is counterintuitive, all-pervading nature of the nature. And they put together, but these two correlating dot to dot is very difficult and very tenuous job, because these two are different realms of understanding the same thing. And and Vedanta is fixed. We cannot change any part or any single letter or single note of Vedanta. I mean Vedas, that is fixed. Whereas the other one is still evolving. It is only 200 years old baby, or 250 years old baby, ever since Newtonian physics come into picture. So it may take ages, because of our rishis also put together thousands of years on contemplation and gave the namas. So in science, it's just pretty new, and it may take some time, completely explain the universal dynamics accurately the way the Vedanta says. But all in all, my conclusion is, for experiencing, science doesn't matter anymore. It is only for understanding. For the experience, you have to be the observer, you have to detect it, you have to unite with it. There is even this mathematical nature of this universe also cease to exist in that supreme consciousness.
I feel that all the namas, when I have read some of the books, each nama is given some properties. It's they are identified with some particular properties. I mean,
Correct.
qualifications
Of the universe. Yes.
Of the nama, the Vishnu Sahasrama, all each one has got a particular meaning and a property to qualify that nama. So like that, I feel that all of them are either a superposition of all H news, different H news putting levels of energy. So I always feel that the Veda, I mean, all our Vedantic rishis, whatever they have, all the mantras, everything is nothing but all something to do with energy levels only. That is why all these mantra drashtas, when they are reciting a mantra, they are reciting number of times, they are able to visualize a particular human form. So that is what people talk of. I mean, that's what it is. That the rupa is coming of the mantra. So all that is a superposition of different energy levels. That's what I understand.
True.
And I feel happy if I'm thinking about it like that.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, we see when you talk about the superpositions of energy levels in the Vishnu Sahasranama, there is already been observed. So there is no superposition there. Superposition is already done. For certain things, they did not do superposition. So, for example, Vishnu is probability distribution. Then some particle exists in the entire universe. That is some Vishnu. When it is given an RSM of Srivan, it is definitive. It's been observed. There is no confusion on that. Okay. So it has got combination of both, one being the ones being observed, then the ones which are not observed. Together they put together in Vedanta. So that's the beauty. And another thing, I just wanted to clarify one thing. Maybe you said you mean that, and it's when you do the mantra drashtas, when they do the mantra, when you visualize something, that is sakara darshanam.
Yes.
But beyond sakara darshanam, we have to go to the nirguna darshanam. So that's a super consciousness, because the moment you have got the sakara darshanas, that is good. That is nice. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. But that is not the end of Vedanta. Vedanta goes beyond the sakara darshana. Just want to have a clarification on that. Yeah. Saguna Brahma, Nirguna Brahma, right? Sakara Brahma, Sakara Darshanam is for Saguna Brahma. But
Yeah,
we have to go from there, we
that-
have to go to the
that can
Nirguna
be
Brahma. That's
that can be identified with wave particle duality.
a duality. But when you go to the Nirguna Brahma, what is that reality?
Yes, the classical mechanics can be applied to the
Sakara
Saguna
Darshana.
Brahma.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. One with the book Aruna Prasna, somehow I didn't understand how the depletion of ozone layer is identified with the cutting off head of Rudra. I didn't understand what is that the Veda, Rig Veda mantra related to it. In the Vayu Mandalam chapter.
Yeah. Now I talked about the ozone layer. Yes, yeah.
That Rudra's head being cut off and ozone layer depletion. Somehow I didn't understand the significance.
So there is a link I provided in the book and the ozone layer. If you go to that link, one scientist actually put together very nicely what happens to the ozone layers when the temperature on the Earth changes. So Earth is round in shape, for example, for our just for the discussion sake, right? And there are spherical, the same spherical way, spherically, the atmospheric layers are also formed. And there is a tropo, and there is a strato, and there is an ozone. But it is not a definitive layers. But
yes.
Scientists put together, because of the close approximation, they put together. But the tropo and ozone layers, sometimes ozone layer submerges into the strato, or sometimes it is in between tropo and strato, or it is above the strato, things like that, different some situations. And
Yes.
he has observed a lot of points across the globe. And he observed when the temperature changes. And if you please click on the link, because he gave the dumbbell shape. So how that energy, how this temperature differences between the strato and ozone layer, that ozone actually goes beyond, intrudes into the stratosphere. So if you look at the diagram, the dumbbell shape actually the Kitaka, it is very nice. I mean, that's the darshan I got. I may be wrong, but there is a very clear observations done by NASA scientists. He took the data points from across the globe, and he observed for over a year. It's not just a mathematical model; it is an observed model. Then he put the data points, and he concluded that the depletion happens. It is a dynamic. Ozone depletion is a dynamic based on the temperatures.
Diamond model.
And yeah, exactly. So what I believed is, because for me, waking up Lord Vishnu or Shiva, Indra should have find a better way of waking him up rather than cut his throat, right? Severing his head. I mean, that story cannot be accepted by anybody. I mean, Indra is supposed to be the king of all gods, and he does something like this. He doesn't have any other way of waking up Shiva. That's something wrong with the traditional translation. They got an alternate interpretation scientifically that she's trying to explain something and we just didn't get it. Then,
What is it wrong? Sorry.
then
What is it wrong you are saying?
what is sir? Sorry.
What is the wrong concept you are saying?
Severing the Indra severing the head of Lord Shiva. So
Oh,
just to
where-
wake him up, because the story goes as Indra and Lord Shiva actually fights against the demons, and they get tired, and he's very furious, and his face is very furious face, and Devatas got scared, and Indra after when he tired, Shiva is tired, he leans his head on his bow, and he sleeps on the bow in standing position.
That's what you have written in Arun Prashna, right?
Yeah, exactly. That is the story. But then Indra cuts the thread of the bow,
Yeah.
and that because of the tension, it severs Shiva's head. And
Yeah.
Aruna Prashna says, so that happens only on some seasons because of the temperature difference. It doesn't happen all the time. So when the temperature differences are right, the molecules, the ozone molecules get split into oxygen and O minus, a free radical. And when the temperatures are right, with the interaction with the sun, then these free radicals with the oxygen again combine and will become the ozone layer, ozone particles. Then Anumantra Krishna also says that, and it rains, right? When it rains, when the molecules get split, like oxygen and O minus, when it rains during that time, you store the water and use that water for the Arunaketik Agni. And when you use the Arunaketik Agni, the water gets evaporated and it goes back and balances the temperatures, and then it will give enough energy to combine ozone oxygen as well as O minus, so it will form the O3. That actually protects the Earth from the dangerous cosmic radiation. So then I thought, instead of describing this as a story which, it is, to me, it is very weird. But that out of that weirdness, I thought, what happens if the Rudra is Tridaram Trigudakaram Trinetrancha Triyayudham Trijanma Papsamharam Ekabilvam Svarpanam? That Bilvam is also 3. So every 3 is associated with Rudra, and ozone is also 3. And also the shape of the molecule, of the ozone molecule, is exactly like a trident, right? Trishula. So what happens? So then I have got this weird idea. One weird story and weird idea. So what happens if it's trying to explain severing the head means just cutting out the one molecule out of this ozone, one electron out of this molecule and forming oxygen and ozone. And during the Karundaketik Yajna, where it is balancing the temperature so that they will narrate back. That's the story I put it. Yeah.
The later part of story, if you take it, after the severing of head, he has been replaced with a horse head. What does it mean?
Which one? Ayyagari, right?
Ayyagari. So how the horse head is resembling for this concept?
We have to see each verse. I have not, at least that is not mentioned in the this thing, Aruna Prashna, because I have to see the correlation between one mantra to another mantra and to find out. If you have the text, probably please forward me. I will research and I'll let you. I don't have the text. Yeah.
But that is only story I had. But see, that is one concept. But you are saying Shiva, that was told in another story. It is Vishnu.
Yeah. In the fourth, I think the third or fourth thing, the same thing. Shiva is replaced by Vishnu. It seems.
Yeah.
I have not read that.
Vishnu killed some Rakshasa and then sleeping, and then you.
Yeah, the same thing. Yeah.
That is and all those things.
Yeah.
So
I just mentioned
again,
because
Ayyagari.
Ayyagari. Yeah.
Ayyagari. The Ayyagari and Ayyagari is a lot of knowledge again.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. We have to use the different framework to tell that story, because these are all story to explain a different scientific concepts.
Yeah.
So
even
this
in
is
astronomy, even in astronomy, we come across such weird stories it is very difficult for us to understand and correlate the science and these stories. So we should not understand this, they take these stories for granted when we are trying to understand the cosmos.
Okay. Before going into the diverting the topic, let us give the opportunity for others. Anybody is having any doubt on this, any questions or any
Thank you, sir.
opinion,
Thank you.
please let us give opportunity for others to talk and then let them express their opinions on this topic.
Okay,
Anybody else?
there is one question in the chat box which says, is there anyone who experienced Brahman or Brahmananda?
That's Bhrigu actually experienced it. His father is Varuna, and it is I don't know in personally who actually analyzed and like that, but if you look at the Taittiriya Upanishad, Bhrigu actually he wanted to know the Brahma, the eternal bliss or Brahman. Then Varuna asked him to contemplate. Sorry, go ahead.
But we believe Ramana Maharshi has got that eternal bliss, we believe that. And we believe Ramakrishna Paramahansa got eternal bliss, we believe that.
Yeah.
So there are some people who in our generations, in our last 100 years, who has got that eternal bliss, we believe. And another person, Raghav Narayan Shastri Garu from the Prakasam district, another person, we believe they have got the eternal bliss. At the time of their
but
death.
all I'm saying is it is a documented in Vedas itself. It is documented as Bhrigu actually enlightened with the help of his father Varuna.
His question is anybody
in the contemporary world, maybe,
His question is anybody has attained that. The examples what we see is these are the people whom we know very well.
Okay,
in recent
Ramakrishna,
past,
somebody wrote
years.
Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Ramana Maharshi. Somebody already answered. Oh, yeah.
They were living even when we were youth.
Okay. Now,
Jnani never says he is a Jnani. Correct. He cannot say Jnani. Correct. He doesn't know. Whoever wrote that one, it is correct. Ravi Garu wrote. Jnani doesn't even know that he has got that Jnanam. Because during his experience, he killed the time and space. So once you are not, once you kill the time and this thing, you do not know what happened. So you cannot say, I experienced this. That's why in the very beginning, in the disclaimer, I put that Bhrigu Maharishi, when he claimed that I exist even before all this existence, that is, they are trying to help us imagine the superconscious, I mean, the unison with the super consciousness.
That's what Krishna says, na, Bhagavad Gita. I am Gnani is myself. I am Gnani is myself. So once you attain the Gnanam, is not different from me.
Correct.
There is no question of the Dvaita has gone.
Correct.
So Gnani is not different from me. Gnanam means I am Gnani. That's all. That's what he says. Once he attained Gnanam means he is already attained moksha.
Yeah.
That's why we call the person who is in the body as Jivan Mukta. Because he still retained in the body. The Ravana Maharshi was Jivan Mukta. He was already Gnani. Just like Ramakrishna Paramahansa is already Gnani, he realized. And I saw one person in my childhood in my Machilipatnam streets who was behaving like Gnani like that on the roads. He used to go like a madman on the roads. Just like that's all. People used to touch his feet. People used to touch his hand. He never used to bother. He used to go on. If somebody gives, he eats, and other doesn't eat. He always laughing. He used to always laugh. I never saw him not having any pain in his body. Though he was not having proper clothes, though he not having body clean, always he was laughing. At least I observed for 3-4 years. Every day I used to, when I was going to college, I used to see him, either he opposite side or behind me. Many people are there in Himalayas.
Okay, thank you, Sitaram Garu, for the wonderful lecture.
Oh, thank you.
Now we will go for Prarthana.
One
And
second. Before that, I would like to just discuss with Sitaramji. Two things I would like to tell. One is we believe that 33 Devatas are there, 12 Adityas and 11 Rudras, and then Ashtavasus. Okay.
And
And
Ashwini
then
Devatas,
two
yeah.
Surya and Chandra. You say.
Yeah, or Surya and Chandra, yeah.
Yeah, and this is 33 when there is, when you are saying Surya and Chandra already universe. Okay. 12 Adityas also Surya universe. And similarly, there could be 11 Rudras also resembling the universe. And who are they? And similarly, Ashtavasus. Who are they?
So if I
What
give,
they means, what are they in universe?
so
That is to be-
33
is to be
crores,
researched with that.
Koti means a type. I can, if
No,
you
I'm
give
not
an
talking about
excuse.
Koti. I'm not
Ah.
talking about Koti at all. I'm talking about 33. That's all.
So there are different versions of it. One version is whatever you just said, and a different versions has got 33 made of different things. One version of the last two is Ashwini Devatas, also considered as
Okay, Ashwini Devasas we take. Then Adityas will be the Surya. Suryas,
but
12
then,
Suryas. 12
and
Suryas.
one is a Brahman. I mean, I have got a different slide I gave last week a session. If you can excuse me, I will give that. I mean, I will show you that slide so that everyone will just give
Now,
me
what I
1
want to
second.
say, what I want to put forward to you is,
Uh-huh.
can we link these 33 to the 32 items in the universe?
Yes, but
Similarly, can we
Ah.
link these Maruts are there 49, 7 into 7, 49 Maruts. Seven
Yeah.
types of Vayu Devatas, and
Ah.
each one is having 7 sections. There are 49 types of Vayus are there. And Vayu is in the universe now. So can we identify these 49 areas where that different types of Vayus are?
Correct. I can definitely, I already put that one, but it is not published yet. So yes, I did a lot of research on the Vayu Ganas as well as the Shakti Ganas, and most of the Ganas. What Indra actually split that the egg into 7, and he put on, and he divides that. So this is what I put the Ashtavasus as like this. Yes. So
Third thing, let me finish. Third thing is, please give your papers to us one by one. All this to our Vedavani journal.
Definitely, sir. Definitely.
We will publish
Yeah,
that. It's already ISSN approved journal, and for Vedas, I don't think any other journal is there as such.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Please give your papers to us. We will publish in our this thing. It will be a feather in the cap for our journal.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Okay, I'll send you the link for others' guidelines so that you can
particularly give this paper, present paper, please give it immediately. We'll publish in next issue.
Okay.
June issue.
It's not a paper, it's a presentation. That is more that
make it a small write-up and give to us, we will put it there.
I will, yeah, probably I can do that. Because that's different. I mean, that's what they asked me is, they want me to the mysticism of Vedanta in Carnatic classical music. So I have to find out all. Oh yeah, that's a very complicated topic, but in both cases there is a Vedanta, but that's one common thing. But it's a different way, that different dimension. When we bring Carnatic classical into this thing, then I have to really make sure that all the Vaggayakaras, all the musicians, all the singers follow the are towards Vedanta. So I put together good amount of time, and it's like, but I can definitely share it with you. Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody asked, then only paper made this paper.
Sorry.
It is against request of somebody you made this paper.
Yeah, I mean, someone there is an organization called Wonderful India Festival.
Okay.
there is an organization. They made one month lengthy festival. It's called Wonderful India Festival, where they invited a lot of people like me. There is some cultural programs like singing, some dancing, and some preaching, some discourses, and some talks like the way I did. They actually asked me to talk on a subject like Vedanta, mysticism Vedanta in Carnatic classical. So I gave
Okay.
the Veda mantras, as well as I put together the compositions of the great composers who actually talked about the Vedanta the way Upanishads actually talked about.
Yeah, it's a good article. So if we can give
Yeah.
that, we will publish it. And our basic motto for Vedvani journal is to bring out the science in Vedas in the first part of the journal. One section is for that purpose. Second section is for Sanatana Dharma, general understanding. So first part is science and management in Vedas, Veda Vangmaya. So this is well suited for that section, this article.
Sure.
Please give a article. You can give an article on Arun Krishna also, one article on this also. We will publish one by one.
Sure.
Please.
Yep. Definitely.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
Govindaraja,
all for giving me opportunity.
yeah.
We are blessed
And
with your lecture.
we look forward for a few more lectures, and this lecture is mainly for a course we are going to start for IKS for students. So when we plan and start the course, we will request you to present it also.
Sure.
Okay. Govindaraja garu, please.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितो ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः अपुत्राः पुत्रिणः सन्तु पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अधनाः सधनाः सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदां शतं सत्यं वद धर्मं चर स्वाध्यायान्मा प्रमदः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु स्वस्ति
ధన్యవాదములండి కృష్ణ కుమార్ గారు జనగమన ప్లీజ్.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Jai Hind. Jai Hind. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram.
ధన్యవాదములండి కృష్ణ కుమార్ గారు.
ధన్యవాదాలండి.